Welcome to Pipin' Hot, where the takes are hot and the boys are not. Today's take is
Hiking sucks.
Whoa! What?
Takes are hot.
The boys are not.
Welcome to Pipin' Hot.
Are you kidding me?
This is why I wanted a genuine reaction. We're trying to do one. I want to do an episode where we just like go for it.
I'm like a little bit hurt.
I know you are.
But why? What brought this take?
What brought the take is that I just went camping. I went to Shenandoah, and
Nice.
I love camping. I adore camping, but hiking is the one thing of camping. My family loves hiking. It's the one thing that I just like can't really get behind. Like it's just like not my favorite. And here's my reasoning, is that hiking, whenever I've hiked with somebody, why I would go hiking is to like be walking around in nature and like really like soaking it in. Like I would rather like meditate in nature, if that makes sense, and like experience it all. But when people are hiking, people are just walking. Like it's just like we're just like it feels like they're walking to get to a destination. It's always like an overlook or something, and the overlook is gorgeous. I love it. But like, first of all, you can drive to that shit. So like the reason you'd want to hike for me is to like really soak everything in. But every time I've gone hiking, people are just like marching, just trucking to get to this overlook. It's like just drive and then like walk around in nature for a little bit. So you don't have to like be like my thighs were on fire. Like then that way you don't have to like be pressured to get somewhere by a certain amount of time. If it's raining, you're like, all right, I guess I just like head out, you know, like I just like take a stroll through nature and like experience the birds calling. Like that feels fun to me. Hiking is so stressful for what? For why?
I think you gotta hike with the right people. Because I actually kind of agree with that. I've definitely been on hikes before where it's less about the hike and more about just where you're getting to. And it's like these people will keep like their eyes have that like 10-foot stare. They're just like cranking with the walking poles, and it's like, you know, they just kind of crank it out for 2 hours until they get to the overlook.
Right.
But I think it's just about finding that balance. I think I agree, taking your time and just kind of going for a stroll is way more enjoyable. But there are different types of hikes. So
like
I'm glad that was why you don't like hikes, because I think this is salvageable. This still gives me hope. But
yeah, like I just think that's every time I've been on a hike, it's just so stressful. So I went with two of my friends, and like one of them has never been camping before, and one of them really likes hiking. And I didn't tell her that I didn't like hiking because I like camping. I love camping. And the other reason I'd want to hike is like if we're not doing the whole taking it in, soaking it in thing, we're just walking to an overlook. All right, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about some stuff. And there were definitely points where we talked about some things. But for a lot of it, we're just walking in silence. Like
were we all just silent?
In my head, I literally had like silent hike stuck in my head. I like was singing Silent Night to myself with like a hike. And
that ain't right.
Like that, it did not. It felt like just kind of like, it wasn't awkward because like we're really close. So like we were talking the whole rest of the trip. But it's like we're so determined to get to where we're going. And like, I thought it was gorgeous. We got to this really nice overlook. We got to see it, like the clouds parted for us. It was great.
Oh, nice.
And then on the way down the mountain, because Shenandoah has all these overlooks, on the way down the mountain, we stopped at every overlook. And I'm not trying to be like annoying, but like the overlooks, like that driving down, were like they were pretty much just as good as the one that we hiked to. Like not quite as good. They weren't quite as good. They were like a B+, B- comparatively. But like, we could have just driven to that shit. Like, I don't know, why are we so determined to like get to where we're going? Like, let's just like enjoy Can we like just enjoy ourselves for a little bit, you know? And we get lost. We got lost a few times.
That's part of the fun. I gotta say, I think
getting lost.
Yeah, like when I go back to New Mexico, I go hiking with my dad because where my folks live is like right kind of the base of this mountain range, the Sandia Mountains, I think they're called. And so my dad and I go hiking there as often as we can. And there's a big reason why it's typically just me and my dad and not me and my mom and my dad. And it's because my mom is very similar to what you're saying. She likes to like take it slower, enjoy kind of like the views, take it, it's kind of less about the hike and more just like being out with your family on a trail, that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
My dad and I have a very good talent at getting lost on hikes, though. And it's always been part of the fun being like, this wasn't where we thought we'd be, but let's go ahead and explore and see what's up. And I think that's always added a bit of fun to it because, like, you're like, to get lost in that capacity is because we've been so engrossed with whatever we're talking about. Like, it'll just be me and my dad talking. And we'll realize that it's been like an hour since we might have supposed to hit something we knew about.
Right.
And then we kind of realize, hey, maybe we're not quite where we should be. And that always adds like an adventure aspect to the hikes.
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny picturing like, because like hiking is pretty labor intensive, but just like the three of you just like
we're
stone cold, just like trucking along. Like that's not like ideal hiking, I would say. Like it's all about like you want to be cracking jokes, telling riddles, like just talking about whatever, enjoying like the walk. Like I definitely think that's the pinnacle of hiking.
Well, okay, because my parents do the same thing because both my parents like hiking and they like it way more than I do. And when I was in high school and when I was home for college for a little bit too, they would like find hikes to do at home, which Annapolis, Maryland is not like hiking central. Like it's like, and we're finding these hikes to do, and we're not even going to an overlook. We're just hiking, and I can understand that as a form of exercise. I can understand that as a form of like being out in nature. But again, like we are moving, like we are going very fast to just like walk around the woods for a little bit. I'm like, and no one's talking to each other. It should be a family bonding, like we're all hanging out. But we're just like moving, and it's literally like we found a trail behind a Petco. Like that's not like a fun trail. It's just like so. That's my thing about hiking is just like the expectations for me for hiking is always so much greater than the actual action. It's like we're always just moving fast for no reason. We're not really enjoying the actual like because of that. Like just go on a treadmill. I don't know. Like. Like I'm like, what the like? I want to enjoy nature. I don't want to be like moving so fast that the only thing I can focus on is like how much my legs hurt.
That's up there with some of the most like millennial shit I think you've said on this pod. Is why go hiking? Just get on a treadmill.
Well, okay, as a form of okay, if you're going as a form of exercise, it's better because I will say I went on a treadmill with I don't really do the treadmill that much, but my friend was like, do you want to go work out? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And she's like, she prefers doing the treadmill. And I hadn't been to our gym yet on campus. And I'm walking on the treadmill and I'm staring out the window because it's at the window and like it's on like the second floor so you can see down. I'm staring out the window at people walking. And I'm like, I'm doing what you're doing, but less productive. Like, I so felt like a hamster. I was like, I really feel like a little test tube right now. I'm you, but I'm not moving.
But having like an identity crisis on the
It was a
treadmill,
little,
like,
and then I went on the elliptical, and that one faces the mirror, and that was way worse. I'm just like looking at myself moving, and I'm like, this is you. I hate this.
Cardio in front of mirrors is like a gym setup that could only be designed by someone who's never been in a gym before. Like you cannot put cardio equipment in front of a mirror. That's a sin. But how do you feel? I was wondering because so much of, I feel like, I mean, you said that your family goes on hikes pretty frequently, so maybe this isn't the case, but I feel like a lot of the bulk of hiking that we did when we were younger came through Key.
Yeah.
And I feel like there was such a heavy emphasis on like, we can't, like, we're not going to hike that fast. We're going to take it very slow. Like, we're going basically as slow as the slowest person.
Yeah. And
the hikes weren't that long. And it was like, kind of like the faculty and like peer leaders' jobs to like always be like telling riddles, like talking around stuff like that. So like, how was, when you were at that age, when you were participating in those trips, was that kind of more bearable, or were you like on the Appalachian Trail being like, fuck me, dude, I'm like stuck out here with all of my classmates, it's the 7th grade, I hate myself, don't look at me? Like, was that like, how did that factor in?
See, I enjoy, like, those are the kind of hikes that I did enjoy. And I didn't actually go on AT. I was in Mockingbird. I was in a play, so I didn't go on AT.
So wait, you missed a lot because you also didn't do Old Rat because that got frozen out, and you didn't do the repeat.
So
Okay, that explains more. That's kind of like I'm seeing how all the pieces are
hikes that I
connecting
did
now.
were, I don't even know if we did, because AT was like a backpacking, like that was hiking, and I
Mhm.
feel like I wouldn't have enjoyed that one either because like the extra weight. Again, I just feel like part of the reason I don't love it is because I'm focusing more on like how much pain I'm in compared to like enjoying
Sure.
myself. I don't know if there was any times that we like specifically went on hikes in high school. I think we did it like maybe once or twice. It was more so like hiking
Yeah.
to where we're going, like to where we're camping. And I will say that I don't hate that version, but I prefer every other aspect of camping. Like I would much rather be like setting up the tent or like playing cards, being outside, or like playing soccer,
Sure.
like just like
yeah.
doing things with people outside, or even like I prefer being in the water, like swimming or canoeing or whatever. Like I would or fishing. Like I would. Those are the parts of camping that I really really like. So like I
Gotcha.
would. So even the nice hikes like still is like bottom of the list. Like it's still like
Damn.
the shit tier part, even though it's not shit.
Yeah,
tier.
we
It's
gotta go hiking because I feel like we
C.
can.
It's like C tier.
There's definitely a way. There's different types of hiking. Like there are those people who are just like super, just like it's about the destination, fuck the journey type of deal. And I
That's
don't
my
really,
motto.
I
That's
don't
my life
enjoy
motto.
that. That's the
It's
goal.
about the destination.
Right? Honestly,
Fuck
it's
the
just
journey.
about.
I want to get to where I'm going. Hell.
Right, death.
I need to die.
The never-ending nap.
That is that is the most millennial shit I'll say. Actually, that's the most Gen Z shit.
That's
I'll say
Gen
on the
Z. That's
podcast.
Gen Z.
Treadmill is millennial. I want to die is Gen Z.
We're like right in the middle. We're the age where we're like, we're the age. Golly.
Back in my
We're
day,
like right in the middle.
I had to hike uphill.
Both ways.
We gotta find. I feel like everything you've said, on the other hand, is the boomer shit. You're like, come on, let's go hiking.
I know that honestly, yeah, it is a little. I was very
Gen
much so
X.
in the minority with. I think our grade at large, we did not have many like peer leaders in our grade. We had like one person who went consistently on trips.
Yeah, right.
But like, I feel like our grade and even like more tightly knit, our friend group was not super big into that stuff.
Yeah,
but like, what
agreed.
about you've mentioned in the past? I think we talked about this on your dad's episode a little bit, like rock scrambling, like what we did at
Love that.
what was
yeah.
that the I'm totally blanking on the name. Was that the Ohio Canal, C&O Canal, in 10th grade, where we kind of like went on the Potomac River, but it was like a lot of that was just kind of in that like
sure.
protected
I know what you're
area.
talking
Like it
about.
wasn't
Yep.
too much of a hike, but it had that like rock scrambling element along the side of the Potomac, like not the Billy Goat side. The Billy Goat
Yeah.
Trail was a lot more intense.
I've
and
done that
much
with my
more of, like,
dad
a
before.
hike,
I like
but
that one. Yeah.
Billy Goat's fun. Rock scrambling was always the most appealing to me because it was
Yeah,
never
agreed.
as intense, or it never required the same type of physicality as rock climbing.
Yeah,
but you
right.
were still climbing over rocks.
And
You're
it
like,
feels like there's
I'm
a-
rock climbing.
It feels like there's kind of a motive. Like again, like
Yeah.
I don't like running. Like I don't like running, but I will run with a motive. Like I'll run like to put a ball in a hoop. You know, like I'll do that.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like rock scrambling was like there's kind of an objective, and I also feel like it forces you to go slower, and that's what I liked. Like I like to actually like take my time and like enjoy it. And rock scrambling, you have to, or you will die. Like,
right.
Shenandoah had a little bit of that, which was nice. And you know what is really good for that is hiking in Vermont has some really great rock scrambles. I remember
Really?
I remember finding out that I liked rock scrambling when I did some hiking in Vermont. That was fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to go up there more. I was super bummed we weren't able to go on Mount Monadnock when we went up earlier this summer, but like that
is that the
type
one
of
in
stuff, I
Vermont?
wish we did. That's New Hampshire.
Oh.
Monadnock's
Oh, right,
across,
right, okay, I
in
forgot.
New Hampshire. And that one sounded like it would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, we gotta get out more. We gotta go on these hikes, and we gotta do them right. Because I agree,
I want to
like,
go camping.
that kind of power
Yeah.
hiking really ain't it. But I also think like hiking, it's so funny because I think hiking coupled with camping is like so much better than hiking just on its own. Because hiking on its own, it's like you go out, you're in wilderness for a couple hours, you get gross, but then you're immediately like back home, you're
Yeah,
showering,
yeah.
you're clean, whatever. But that element of like you're hiking, you're gross as shit, you're dirty,
And you
and you
can't
just get back to a
leave.
campsite, and then you just like sleep. Like it's just like
Dude,
the whole experience is so much fun when it's like you're camping and you're hiking while you're camping.
yeah.
It's just so much more like inclusive of an experience, and I love that.
Yeah. Camping like this time around, I don't think I've ever really camped in like August. Like I always camp either
Mhm.
spring or winter or fall, because we would do it for school, and then even when I was in the Scouts, I think we pretty much only did that. We didn't really do any summer camping.
Yeah.
It was hot as fuck. It was so hot, dude. And I had a sleeping pad. Because I was the experienced camper. The girls did not have a sleeping pad. They were like, I should have brought that. And I was like, you didn't? I was like, what are you gonna do?
That's
Sleep
like
on the
first thing
gravel?
you-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it honestly was worse. I didn't even end up using it the first night because like it trapped all the heat.
Mhm.
So I was like using my sleeping bag as a blanket, and it trapped all the heat on my back. So it was like really hot and like warm because it's made out of
Just
styrofoam or whatever.
sweltering.
Like the tent was just cooler.
Yeah.
Like sleeping on the tent ground was just cooler. It's like you're feeling sweaty and gross, but you're like, we're all in the same boat. I don't know whose BO is stinking up the tent, but we're all in the same.
Right.
We're here.
We're
like,
all in the same boat.
it is what it is. I just think like I love camping. Hiking is just like really not my favorite aspect of it.
Damn.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we'll go out.
I don't want to go on an exercise with my family. I'm not trying to work out with my family because you go hiking and
No.
you're like we're just hanging out in nature. We're just strolling a little bit, and then you take like 5 steps. And you're like, you're like, oh, I gotta do some cardio. Hey Cam,
Hey, Casey.
do you know what I hate?
No, what do you hate?
I hate when ads just start in the middle of a podcast and there's no segue into the ad.
It's the worst part of a podcast.
That being said, I do want to shout out our sponsor today, which is
Who's the sponsor?
actually this podcast.
We at the Pipe and Hot Pod would like to ask our listeners to do us a huge favor, and that is to like or subscribe or review this podcast to help us grow. The more engagement we have, the more growth we have, the better this show will be, and the more fun we're going to have recording it and giving it to you lovely people. It does us a huge favor, and all it takes is one click of a button. So please, if you really are enjoying this episode, we'd really appreciate it if you left a like and enjoy the rest of this episode.
If you enjoy the episode, boosting the engagement in some way or another helps us to spread the podcast around to people who wouldn't get to listen to it otherwise.
And if you're watching the video at home, leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel also helps us grow and bring better content to you folks at home. But more importantly, it allows us to have more fun here in the studio.
And most importantly, it really helps to feed our ego.
Yeah, my God complex is not quite godly enough yet. So help me boost my own God complex. Subscribe, like,
I'm at God-ish.
follow, share with your grandma.
I don't think people's grandmas would like this podcast.
If there's a grandma out there who likes this pod, let us know because they got to be the only one.
Yeah, shout out all the grilfs out there.
More engagement, better content, piping hot. I'm taking another swig of my tea, lad.
Tea on you?
Yeah, I gotta drink some tea.
Oh, that's a
I'm
hot
trying to
take.
wane off. I'm at like 2 cups of coffee a day right now, and I'm like, I gotta relax a little bit.
That's a hot take for another episode. I don't like tea.
You don't like tea?
We
Bro,
can't get
tea
into that
hits-
right now. We can't get
Bro,
into that
tea
right
hits
now.
different.
I can't. We can't do that right now. We got to get into hot drops.
Hot drops, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm glad you've come around on the segment name. I like hot drops.
It's
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot.
That's a good one. We're keeping that one.
Or is that copyrighted? Drop it
No,
like it's
it-
hot.
I can't. I
It
don't
can't
think-
be
I
right. It's
can't
too
be.
popular.
Also, what
Welcome-
copyright lawyer is listening to the first?
Bro, the Universal
30
Music Group
minutes.
be going crazy on all these.
But they're
people,
all
so-
bots. If they're all bots, like
That's
with the
true.
like, if we played the song, they could detect us. But if we just say it, they're not gonna know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Welcome to Drop It Like It's Hot. The segment
Yeah,
where
that's
we go
way
over what's
better.
hot and dropping right now.
I have a hang toenail that I'm like,
Oh my god!
it hurts like hell, and I'm like trying
Bro,
to like
do you need a-
console my foot? Okay, I'm
You
fine.
need a
We're good.
timeout.
We're good. Okay.
So what's dropping like it's hot this week, Casey?
I'm letting you take the lead on this one because primarily,
God.
this is a Cameron
I'm so excited.
hyperfixation obsession.
Obsession, I would say.
obsession?
Well, yeah, I would say it definitely used to be more of an obsession. I would say I want to get more into it again. But for those of you
Specific interest.
specific interest, it's been brought up a couple times on the podcast, so this should come to no surprise to anybody. But a big Star Wars fan,
Yep.
big fan of the franchise, what they got going on over there. I'm sure we're gonna do an episode soon where we talk all about Star Wars and the
We
sequels
will.
and all that.
We'll do Star Wars.
But right now, what recently dropped is Disney's doing this new animated show.
Yeah.
It seems to kind of be like a what if type situation where it's like I don't know if you would call it like an anthology series, but it's going to be like 8 distinct episodes, I think, that
Mhm.
aren't really connected at all. They're done by 7 or 8 different anime studios. And they have nothing to do with anything that's been on like Star Wars canon thus far. Like it is
That's
different
awesome.
timelines, different different locations. Like it's completely different. And for the first time, because they've done a little bit of animation with Star Wars, with like the Clone Wars and Bad Batch stuff like that. They're doing anime this time, which is super sick. I
Which
think
is
it's an amazing idea.
genius, yeah.
So smart to do with Star Wars. So the new
'Cause
trailer
Star
just
Wars-
dropped.
Star Wars is inspired by Japanese culture anyway.
Oh,
already,
so much of what is in Star
like,
Wars.
it's kind of a
came from-
no-brainer to do anime.
Yeah, I mean, arguably the first 3 is just a samurai story, but we
Yeah,
don't have time to
exactly.
talk about the whole how that Star Wars story came to be. But I'm super excited, super stoked. The trailer just
Yeah, how do you
dropped.
feel about it? How do you? Because that's what we gotta talk about. We drop it like it's
mean,
hot. How do you
I
feel?
mean, shit, bro, it is so fire. They did such a good job with just the trailer. They like everything about what they showed. Like they showed out of the like crazy over the top shit. Like everyone was getting so upset when they gave Kylo Ren a hilt on his lightsaber. They gave a motherfucker an umbrella lightsaber that spins. Okay, these people aren't messing around anymore. And just like stylistically, I feel like they nailed exactly what I would imagine like an anime Star Wars villain to look like, while also keeping
Yeah,
like
true.
a good touch on just making kind of out of the box decisions. Like it looks like one of the villains is kind of like a younger woman, which they've never really had in Star Wars. All the
Sure.
villains have been kind of older dudes.
Yeah,
They
right.
hinted at Rey going evil at one point, which could have been sick.
I
but we
know,
didn't
yeah.
get that.
I wish.
But like up until like maybe they did a little bit with the Clone Wars, but it's fun that like they're kind of making anyone can be a villain and anyone can be a hero. 'Cause when
Yeah.
you're talking about Star Wars, you're talking about entire universes, you're talking about galaxies, you're talking about different timelines. It's absurd how niche and how concentrated the canon content we have so far has been
Yeah.
in terms of the characters that have been explored. And so I'm very excited to see what they do with this thing. It looks like I'm curious to see how they incorporate anime into it, because there were a couple scenes in the trailer where I was kind of like, this had zero feel of Star Wars, but might be more of like an anime
Yeah,
niche
right,
that they're
right.
also hitting on. So I'm curious because I don't know about you, I haven't actually watched any anime before,
I
so I
have
don't know
not-
like the
Yeah.
like the
I've watched a
commonalities
few.
between them.
I've watched Attack on Titan, Death Note, and I think there's one other that I watched. I'm not like into anime. I'll watch it if I'm curious, but
So yeah, I'm super excited by it. I'm trying to think what else. I think it's just supposed to be like 8 episodes, so pretty short, but coming out like soon, like mid-September. So Disney's got me back
Yeah.
on the payroll.
Yeah.
They like got my wallet out. They're like, here you go.
I think
It's
I
gonna go
think like
crazy.
the reason I'm so excited as I would say I'm not gonna say I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm a casual enjoyer of Star Wars. So as somebody like in that situation, what excites me a lot is that I think like you were kind of hinting at, for so long, like Star Wars is just obsessed with the Skywalkers. Like
Mhm.
even the Clone Wars is like a bridge between the stories. Like it's not fully
Right, yeah.
like its own thing. I mean it is, but not in the same way that it could be. And what's frustrating is that you have like literally endless potential from a storytelling standpoint. Like you
100%.
fully have the galaxy of like, here are some of the established things going on. Let's do this. And that's what I think people really liked about like Rogue One, even though Rogue One is still attached to the Skywalker story. You know, like they're still obsessed with it. And like fucking Han Solo, like I don't need that. I would have liked for like Solo to have been just like a random bounty hunter. Like I fully did not like. I actually like kind of enjoyed that movie. I thought it was pretty good, and I would have liked it so much better if it wasn't about Han Solo. I was like, oh, just like a bounty hunter in the middle of whatever. Have your fucking like. Spoiler alert for Solo, who's been out for 4 years. Have your little like Darth Maul thing at the end, so you can have some old Star Wars reference, and now you're back. So what's really exciting is that hopefully this is not like obsessed with the Skywalkers and can just like tell cool stories. You have endless potential from a storytelling standpoint, from like a creator standpoint. They can take what they probably grew up with, what they love, and like because Star Wars is just like such like everyone around the globe loves Star Wars. So like people probably really grew up with these stories, and so like even though it's an American production, like a Japanese studio is going to have a lot of fun with it because culturally
Oh, yeah.
speaking, they can like take what they loved about Star Wars and then anime inspired, but then also just like from their own culture, like what they want to do with it. These creators. Like there was that one episode, there was a few clips that were like, the one that got me most excited was like almost black and white, right? There was one that was like kind of almost black and white with like a few hints of color. Yeah, that was awesome. So I'm excited to see like the different like art styles, and I've been watching What If, and if What If is any indication, like What If has been so far definitely my favorite Marvel show. Because it gets to be something different, and the creators get to actually tell like a fun story inspired by what they love. So if Visions is anything like that, like I am very here for it. And I haven't watched a Star Wars thing since I tried The Mandalorian. I didn't get into it. Like I haven't watched a Star Wars thing since Rise of Skywalker, and Rise of Skywalker, as a non-Star Wars fan, pissed me the hell off. So I was like, I can't do this. I can't. I'm glad I'm not a Star Wars fan.
We don't have time to get into all of that right now, but dude, I'm so excited to see what direction they take it in. I had another point to make that I'm totally blanking on right now.
Was it about Visions or about Star Wars specifically?
It was about Star Wars more generally. I wish they kind of adopted the Marvel approach more.
Yeah.
Where everyone's familiar with this cast of characters, and so it's super easy to branch out and just kind of attach each new establishment to a single or maybe a couple of known entities loosely, so you create this kind of web, this universe.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's kind of as if every movie that Marvel made ended with Thanos in it. Like that's what it feels like with these with kind of the content we've been getting that's canon with Star Wars. It's like Thanos was such a big deal because he was like talked about a little bit, and he had an end credits scene, and then he had 2 whole movies about him, one in which he destroys half the universe, and it's like the big team up event, and now like Marvel's moving past that, and they're kind of being like, what's the fallout from all of this?
Yeah, right.
Star Wars feels like they're like, here's this really bad guy, and now here's the rise of another bad guy. That's the first trilogy done. Yeah. And then they get to the original trilogy, and they're like, there's still 2 bad guys, but now one of the bad guys goes good again. And you're like, good, it's over. We're done. Then they bring the sequels in, and they're like, wow, remember the bad guy from the first 3?
Yeah.
We brought him back. And now he's going to do the same thing he did for the first 6 movies, but this time we're going to do it mysteriously. We're also going to tease Snoke and be like, new guy, and then be like, no, new guy.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of like bait and switch. That was kind of, I wish they would take the Marvel approach of being like, you had your villain. Now, if they had like get someone new, like have like a son or like a family member, just like a new villain. Like you don't need to have such a linear sequence and a linear attachment between characters. Like Marvel's done a fantastic job of doing that, of not doing that, and proving that it works brilliantly. Like as much as, whether you're a hardcore Marvel fan or more of a casual fan like myself, like almost every single Marvel installment is entertaining, and it is easy to stay pretty up to date with what's going on. Even if you don't know every minute detail, you're kind of like, oh, I remember they did this back in, like Captain America, so I know what they're talking about. But if you haven't like read the Star Wars books, you're gonna watch like brand new movie and be like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening? Like, there's so much lore that they don't give you. And like years after movie will come out, they're just kind of be like, oh yeah, you were supposed to be able to piece together that like this person was from here and this person was from here, and the only way you knew that is you played Lego Star Wars and you got 100% and it emptied a new secret cutscene. Like it was like the amount of deviances they took. So long story short, I'm kind of rambling here, and I apologize for that. But I hope Visions is a lot more succinct, and they're just like, listen, this is just 7, 8 distinct stories of their own, and maybe later they'll have they'll branch off of that more, or maybe towards the very end they'll kind of loop it back to what we already know. But I just hope that they can make them succinct and distinguished on their own without being like, oh, actually this dude was Luke Skywalker.
Could you imagine? I have 2 points of that. I think the thing I appreciate with Marvel is that even away from a villain standpoint, I feel like what's more specific about Star Wars is that they like are really focused on one conflict, and it's like the Skywalker conflict. And so if you're taking like Thanos conflict, for argument's sake, let's take Iron Man Thanos conflict. Iron Man is the closest thing that Marvel has to the Skywalkers. Like people are obsessed with Iron Man in that universe. But like take a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy, it had the Marvel name attached to it, but other than that, it was a sci-fi movie. Like it wasn't anything that was similar to maybe Thor possibly. But like people maybe make the argument that Star Wars is Skywalker, like you kind of can't do it. But I would argue, like, take a look at, like, throw the name Star Wars on it, and people are gonna go see it. So give us an original story, and again, like with Solo, have your little Darth Maul thing, tie it a little bit, but like for the most part, that's your thing. Like you can have your own little Solo story.
Right, 100%.
Because that was Guardians of the Galaxy. They had Thanos, but even at that point, I think Thanos had only been in the end credit scene of Avengers, and like even comic book fans didn't know. You know, my camera is not currently recording, but I'm gonna keep making this point. Maybe I'm out of storage.
Fair enough.
'Cause I definitely have battery. It's probably storage. So welcome to the Cameron Show.
Hello, everybody.
If you're watching the video. And my other thing is that the thing that pissed me off as a casual fan of Star Wars is that I would like look on my, because I'm like pretty invested in sort of, for lack of a better term, like geek nerd culture. So I like knew Star Wars things. And so I'd be like, a lot of my Instagram like explore feed or Twitter would be like that. It would be like nerdy stuff like that. And so it'd be like, did you know facts or whatever, things like that. And half the time it'd be like a Star Wars thing, and it'd be like, did you know, like, this guy in The Last Jedi was supposed to be this because of this. And I'm like, so tell us that. Like, give us that information in the movie, maybe? Is that a crazy concept? So that was my big thing with Star Wars, is that they kind of expect a lot of fans. Even more, I would argue, maybe not in the direction that Marvel's going. I can make that argument later. But as far as Marvel has been for the past 10 years, more like that. You know, like a casual fan can still, for the most part, keep up.
100%. And I think so much of what I think fans, like diehard fans and casual fans alike, have disliked so much about these newer movies as well, is there's so much like there's so much of this like set
I'm listening
piece.
to you. I'm just fucking with my camera.
There's so many set pieces in these new movies that are like eye catching, and like it's fun, like it's entertaining to watch, but like there's no, they waste so much time when they could be explaining lore. Like I feel like so many Marvel movies are like, even the smallest little scenes have like some element that like provides to the entire story. But so much of Star Wars, there'll be like 30 minutes that go by, and the only thing that you've garnered is that like the main characters in that movie have moved from one planet to the next, and it like hasn't provided much insight into the rest of the universe. So I wish Star Wars could have more of a Marvel approach to the way they storytell, and hopefully
I 100% agree with you.
Kind of tap into that a little bit more. But either way, Visions looks amazing. I can't wait to see the Umbrella lightsaber IRL.
Yeah, I need some more cool
episode.
lightsabers. I loved Kylo Ren's. I love Darth Maul's.
Oh, it looks
like just
so
some
good.
crazy ass lightsaber shit I'm here for.
Yeah, I hope they double down on that. Hey, Casey.
Hey, Cam.
You know what I love to do on this show?
What do you love to do on this show?
I love to shout out all the artistic things our friends and family are doing. And that's what we're about to do right here in this segment.
Do I? And that's why we're doing another segment of Cam and Casey's Creative Corner.
Yes, sir.
And today we're shouting out an old friend of ours, a friend from middle school, also named Cam. But he's also known as Marty Valentine, who just put out a brand new album called Stay Down. He's been in the works for... He's been teasing it for a year or two, if not more. It's got 8 tracks on it. All of them are probably the best that I've heard from him.
Oh yeah, they're very well produced, well created. I mean, the best work he's put out so far.
Regardless of our status, like with him and knowing him, like I have been a fan of his ever since he was under the name Good Intent.
Shout out Good Intent.
And just like being able to see him improve and like see how much better his songs have gotten is just so exciting. And I adore this project, actually. I love this project. The artwork is crazy, too.
It's so good. Yeah, it's everything about it is extremely well done. I can't wait to see where it goes from here.
Shout out to the
he's
production.
Off to a great start with his first full album.
It's basically just him, too. There's one feature on it. I don't know if he had any help with production. He may have had 1 or 2 other producers on some songs, but he is an insane producer and insane singer, insane lyricist. So I love this project. And go check out Marty Valentine on
give it a
Spotify
listen.
or Apple or whatever you listen to music on. And now, back to the show. All right, I have 20 minutes to record. The record's back.
Get it.
So I'm sorry that you guys missed my face.
Yeah,
but
welcome
here I
back. Welcome
am.
back to
I'm
the
back.
show.
Hopefully, I'm in focus. I can't tell from my angle right now.
It's all good.
But after Drop It Like It's Hot, I'm glad we got there. I'm glad we got to that title.
It took
Hot
a
Drops
minute,
was
but we got
fine. I'll concede that it wasn't my best.
there. Real ones will remember.
Real
hot
ones will remember
drops when
Hot
we've
Drops.
made it.
Real ones as in Meredith.
Shout out Meredith.
Shout out Meredith. My What's Hot for You this week is a little bit more abstract, but
Ooh.
my What's Hot for You is banana peppers. I have been fucking heavy with banana peppers recently. The reason it was
I
brought
have
to my
so many
attention
questions.
again is because actually I'm gonna, just so it's easier to talk about, I'm gonna make this a joint thing. I'm gonna make it bananas and banana peppers. I'm gonna be both.
Okay, interesting.
So bananas in general.
I'm curious. I'm sickened but curious.
Not together. Let's be clear.
okay.
I've been fucking with banana peppers because, well, I was reminded because we went, me and a friend and my roommate went to Blaze Pizza today, and I was
Ooh,
looking at the
nice.
toppings and I was like, them banana peppers looking kind of juicy right now. And I had some banana peppers recently, and I just think they're underrated. Some people, first of all, don't even know they exist. They don't. If you didn't have a Papa John's near you, you probably don't know what a
Right,
banana
I was about
pepper
to say
is.
you gotta have the Papa John's pizza that came with the garlic tub and the banana
peppers.
pepper.
And I never ate them as a kid because I was like, ew, peppers, that's a vegetable. And I like wouldn't eat it in the pizza. But it's like, I just feel like there's no, there's a few foods, hear me out. There's a few foods that I will get very passionate about. Banana
Okay.
peppers is going on that list. The list primarily
Damn.
consists of pesto. That's basically it.
Pesto God made me act up.
Pesto made me act up. But banana peppers, they just have like a very distinct taste where it's like kind of sour. Like it's just kind of like tangy, sour, sweet, like savory. It's got it all. It's got all your flavor palettes. It's not really spicy, but it has a little teeny bit of a kick to it in the beginning. I prefer a kick in the beginning that wears off as opposed to one that like builds on
Yeah.
you. Because when it builds on you,
Definitely.
you're like, I didn't sign up for this. This was not on my tongue
absolutely
initially.
not.
But a banana pepper, like you start out that way, so and then it dies down. And again, it's just enough of a kick to add a lot of really good flavor. It adds some really good flavor to stuff. So I love banana. I love me a good banana pepper. So that banana peppers is one. And the reason I say
Okay.
I'm gonna add bananas to that so we can talk about some more stuff is because we can't get into this right now, but like the green banana debate will happen eventually. We're gonna get into the green banana debate.
One day.
One of these days we'll get into the green banana debate. But I had some bananas that were basically black, so neither of us are gonna eat those.
Black's a little too far. Solid black's too far.
But I wanted to still use them. I was like, I'm not gonna waste the 79 cents that I spent on this collectively.
No chance.
So I made a smoothie, and I put the bananas in it. And I hadn't made a homemade banana smoothie in a while. And I had some frozen berries, and I had a banana with it. And
Ooh.
whenever I do, I usually make a smoothie with frozen berries, like exclusively, or like I'll put like it'll be like berries. I'll put some spinach in it, and like ice or whatever, just milk, just like water it down. And it's always super sour. And I'm like, why is it so sour? And it's just because berries are sour, dumbass. Like that's just like how it works. And I'm like, but if I get a berry smoothie from Saxby's, like it's gonna be
good, right?
it's gonna be good. But that's because they put a fuck ton of added sugar into it, dumbass. so I added the bananas to it, and I was like, I can do it. Like I like a strawbanana every now and then. I can mess with a strawbanana. But Banary. That's a Pokemon.
Banary.
I'm about to eat.
Damn.
That's disgusting. I'm not.
no.
Anyway, moving on. Concept smoothie restaurant where everyone is named after a Pokemon, and the strawberry banana smoothie is a Banary. Because Banary.
I like it. I like that a lot.
Okay.
I like that a lot.
So I put in the bananas. We're still talking about the smoothie, and it like the bananas weren't super overpowering because it was with the berries, but it made it really sweet. And I was like, I gotta start putting bananas in my smoothie because it's just like the natural sort of like, not sour type sweet, I guess. So it's just like a traditional, I don't know, just basic sugar, I guess. and that shit was
Damn.
delicious. So
It's kind of perfect for you because you can get a bundle of bananas and eat them at your own pace.
Yep.
But then once they ripen to a certain point that for some reason
Hey, we're not getting into it. Shut up. We're gonna
Once
get
they
to
hit
this.
that point though, you can just save them until they're super. Because the darker they are, the more spots they have, the
Yep.
more there's that natural
It's
sugar.
perfect.
And it's perfect for a smoothie. Like it's like you just said, it's gonna have like a ton of sugar and sweetness, but it's like it's pretty natural. It's
Yep.
not gonna be like you just put like a cup of brown sugar into a smoothie. Like that'd be
Exactly.
out of pocket and out of order.
Yeah, so it's
I
like
respect it.
so I tend to get like I usually like a bundle of bananas. Is that what it's a bunch of bananas? What
I
do
think
you
a
call
bunch of
it?
bananas. Yeah,
When I
banana
get
bunch.
when I get a bunch of bananas, they tend to come in like 6. And
Mhm.
if I get them at the stage of ripeness that I would like, they last like a day and a half.
Yeah.
If I get them like with a little bit too ripe or not ripe enough, then I can get max, if I eat them daily, 4 bananas. And so I still got a few left over.
Got a couple left over.
And
Smoothie
that's
time,
max.
baby.
So that's when I started making smoothie. So
Hell yeah.
it was great. So I'm going bananas as a whole are my what's hot for you this week.
Okay.
I'm gonna add. We should make at some point like our MVP foods list. Right now,
Ooh.
yo, wait, can we do like top 3 right now to like hint at MVP
Top
foods list?
3 I could probably pull
Like,
off right
definite,
now.
like mine would be pesto, banana peppers, and the one that comes on the top of my head might not be top 3, but just for sake of time, the one that comes off the top of my head that I've been eating a good amount recently is feta cheese.
Ooh, that's a shout, That's a good shout.
Feta is like had so much flavor to it. Like whenever I make anything that's like kind of Mediterranean, if I put hummus and feta, like the feta
Mhm.
is the thing that adds the more flavor to it, and I would just like, so I just like stick with feta at this point. Like,
I mean, shit, bro.
so those are
Yeah.
my MVP foods
Those are good
for
ones for right now.
August 23rd or 20. I don't know when this is coming out. Whenever I
Just
edit
gotta
it.
expose ourselves.
Whenever I edit this, John.
Damn, I think I would gotta go. I gotta say hummus. Hummus is
Ugh.
good as a snack with
Ugh.
anything. Pita,
God.
pretzels, veggies, whatever
Oh,
you got.
pita
hummus
chips
goes.
too, though.
Pita chips go crazy.
Oh my god, pita chips.
Hummus
go
on anything.
Nuts.
I think number 2, I gotta go with these. Like, I think it's Quaker Oats makes them. They're like caramel or chocolate rice cakes.
Oh,
Bro,
true.
they go
You do
so
like those.
crazy.
Yeah.
They go so
I
insane.
don't know if I've had them actually.
I feel like number 3, it's kind of out of season, but we're getting there, so I think it's appropriate. Because it doesn't matter what food tier list I make, this will make an appearance. And since you were talking about it as what's hot for you, I feel like I got to get into it a little bit too. Number 1 food, probably ever, gotta be banana bread, bro. That
Yeah.
shit goes so hard.
Wait,
for
banana
no
bread
reason.
with anything or banana bread with like nuts or banana bread with chocolate chips? Like what are we talking?
They're all good.
Yeah,
For
they're all
me,
good,
it
they're all
doesn't matter. Like when you put nuts in it, still A tier. You
Yep.
put chocolate chips in it, still A or S tier. It's like the best of the best.
Oh,
kinda
here. Okay, don't get me
regardless.
wrong. I love like nuts for the most part. Hey guys, this is Casey, and I love. Like I will scarf down a thing of cashews, but
Really?
primarily walnuts are in banana bread is what I've like gathered.
Mhm.
Like it's usually walnuts. And I love a good walnut. Actually, walnuts are like one of my favorites. They are
Walnut's kinda
underrated.
good.
Um,
Pretty good.
For me, I think they bump it down to an A-. I think they like bump it down
Hmm.
a little bit. I don't love the texture of them in it, but that's just me. That's
You-
just me personally.
To be fair, if someone put like raisins or like cranberry, you know what I mean? Like a raisin in it is over for
Oh,
me.
it's
Like,
that's
I
disgusting.
don't fuck around with that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
anything with a raisin
If
in
this
it,
is the
fuck
MVP
off.
tier list, LVP raisins.
Yeah,
Fuck
raisins. The only thing that
This
passes
is a
for raisins
raisins-
is an oatmeal.
Hating podcast
True, with one exception. The oatmeal raisin cookie.
with
Those get a
2
pass.
exceptions: yogurt covered raisins. See, I don't like oatmeal
I've
raisin
never had one of
cookies.
those.
I
Oh, okay. We'll
I
let
don't
it
like
slide.
oatmeal
We'll
raisin
let it slide.
cookies.
Oatmeal raisin cookies are insane. Mostly because you can't
but
taste the raisin.
yogurt exactly. Yogurt covered raisins just feel like chewy yogurt.
It's too
Yogos.
good.
You remember Yogos?
I do, vaguely.
Did you have
I haven't had
Yogos
one
where
of
they
those.
was like
My parents definitely never got them for me.
I think they were Kellogg's. I choked on one and I scooped it out with my finger.
Oh,
I was like sitting on the
my-
counter and my mom was looking at me from the living room and I just went just The
Oh,
adrenaline
no.
running through
Yeah.
my 6-year-old body was like, I gotta get this. I gotta get this out.
Oh no! The fact you ever came back. You
I
still
almost
still
died
eating
because of
them.
Yogos. It's a good thing
insane.
I put them out of business.
Good. They deserved it.
They deserved it. It was not a good idea. I don't know who the
Holy
fuck thought a
shit.
child snack should be spherical. Stupid.
Dumbass. Absolutely. Insane.
Anyway, what's what's hot
man.
for you this week?
My what's hot for me is a little bit related. It's still food related, but
Okay,
recently I've gotten real lazy about grocery shopping.
Yeah, fair.
Between work and school, I never really stayed on top
lazy or
of it.
poor?
Lazy.
Okay.
Lazy this time. For the first time, lazy, not poor.
Yeah, true. You've been grinding,
Um,
so that checks out.
So lazy, and this has resulted in basically just repeating whatever I had for breakfast for dinner. Breakfast for dinner is the one what's hot
Yeah.
for me.
I had that
Just
recently
sometimes-
too.
You know, sometimes I'm not feeling chicken and veggies for dinner. Sometimes I'm feeling a bowl of oatmeal, or I'm feeling scrambled eggs. And that's kind of been going on now for a little bit. It's just too easy.
Yeah.
And breakfast foods, stupid cheap. Like, not even a problem to just get
Oh,
like
yeah.
a thing of
box of
instant
pancake
oats or
mix?
like a 12-pack. A box of pancake mix will last you like
$3.
a week.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's like if you ate, well, much more than a week, I would hope. But you know what I mean? Like, it lasts a long time. It's like $5. It's like not even a problem.
Yeah. I actually that's a good idea. I did breakfast for dinner when Meredith was staying over. That was we made some pancakes and
Mhm.
eggs, classic.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been thinking this whole time. I'm like, I'm defrosting chicken right now. Little sneak peek into
Mhm.
the bombastic life of Casey. Is that I'm
Bombastic.
I gotta start using that word. That's a good word. New Instagram handle, Casey Bombastic.
Pretty nice. Pretty sick.
But I'm
Pretty clean.
defrosting chicken right now, and I've been thinking because I don't really have anything to go with it. I'm like, all my produce is out. I'm like, what am I gonna chicken and rice? Like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
I do have pancake mix. I could do like an amended chicken and waffles.
Bro. It's so funny you say that. The other day, you had actually given me the idea. I tried to do like chicken with like a crust on it, you know, like with a bread.
Yeah, yeah.
But I used pancake mix instead.
Oh, yep.
And no matter how long I cook these boys, you're dead raw in the middle. I could not get it right until eventually it just started burning on the outside
Cooking chicken
and
is
raw in the
so
middle.
hard.
I was like, this bitch. I was like,
Dude,
just
I've
cook
honestly, like,
already.
I will put it on
Pissed
the
me off.
I'll put it on the stove because I think that's like sexier, and so I like put it on the
Mhm.
stove, and then it'll like burn the outside after like 4 minutes, and then I check and it's like pink, and so
Yeah.
I've just been throwing that shit in the air fryer. I'm not gonna lie, that air fryer
That's-
is a
yeah.
godsend.
Honestly.
But I could-
Yeah, smart.
Here's the thing: I'm really good at making like nuggets. Like if I ever, I don't fry chicken often, but I tried it and I made little like nugget wings with like hot sauce, like buffalo hot
Nice.
sauce, and that was amazing because it's not that hard. It's pretty easy.
Mhm.
So I'm pretty good at nuggets. So I'm instead of chicken and waffles, I could make nuggets and pancakes
That'd be pretty good.
because I don't have a waffle iron, so I don't know how to
Nugs
make
and cakes.
waffle nugs
Cakes
and
and nugs.
cakes and nugs. That's
and nugs.
all I want out of life. Cake and nugs.
That's pretty good. You know, if you
Um,
make two pancakes and you put like the chicken nugs in the middle, and they kind of like
Ooh.
a McGriddle type situation,
And
would be pretty good.
because I've had rice for the past, I don't know,
Rice gets
40
old
days.
quick. I don't know.
I-
Past 2 years.
I'm the Jesus of rice. I'm stuck in the desert of grain.
Rice gets old so fast.
Satan is
unfortunately.
tempting me with soy sauce. That's like literally all I've been having. So yeah, I think I might do, and I have syrup. I bought syrup recently.
Nice.
I don't have
very
gravy.
nice.
I prefer chicken and waffles with gravy probably because I prefer the savory.
Gravy's good.
I could look up how to make a gravy. I feel like I might have the ingredients for it.
Could. It's another step though. I don't know.
Yeah, but I also have a good amount of time. I don't have to be
Some
anywhere
sausage
for
gravy?
I don't have to be anywhere for like 2 hours.
We got 3 hours until fucking fantasy. So
Fantasy
better,
draft.
Better
I
post
do
up.
have to go to my Moment of Magic though, I think.
True.
I don't have to. I might.
I don't know, man.
Could
be worth having gravy though. Gravy would be delicious.
I think I might make some gravy. Yeah, we'll talk about the season finale,
Ooh.
and I'll make it during then.
Yes, sir.
So with that, this is episode 11 of Piping Hot.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you for listening.
We'll catch you next time.
We'll see you next time with our season finale, baby.